Hello guys, Wallace Conde here, and in today's book club, we're gonna talk about Isaac Asimov's Foundation. Alright, so Foundation by Isaac Asimov is one of the classics in the sci-fi of world sci-fi books genre at all. You know, and Foundation was the first book, novel in the whole Foundation series that Isaac Asimov made in the middle of previous century. So it basically consists of 5 parts, and each part telling a story from different time frame of the Foundation, which was founded civilization of scientists initially, that then developed into something different. So all of them having their own story and situations. The first one called PsychoHistorians, and PsychoHistorians basically this type of the scientists who are trying to calculate what the future is going to be, and usually they can predict really massive trends for like centuries ahead and how the whole world gonna look like. And basically the main psychohistorian Harry Seldon predicted that the empire, that's where they were all living it, will soon come to an end in like 300 years, while the whole empire had already over 12,000 years of history. And the Galactic Empire didn't really like that, the government of it, the emperor, and in order to, instead of making the Dark Age of Empire be really lengthy, Harry Seldon proposed that they will need to start their foundation in order to prevent this. And the emperor said, okay, just leave us and don't tell anyone that something bad gonna happen, because his predictions usually were true. So the psychic historians were given the planets in one of the furthest corners of the whole Galactic Empire, where they were given a chance to build their foundation. That's pretty much where it ends, and they needed to travel for a long time. That's why they took mainly the scientists who were aimed with a task to create a huge encyclopedia that will consist the whole knowledge of the Galactic Empire that ever existed, you know, so the whole knowledge will be transferred further. That is why you can guess it that the second story, called Encyclopedists, yes. So it was already going about people writing this encyclopedia already for 50 years or something like this, and they were led by the board of trustees who were also mainly encyclopedians, and they were still considering their main reason for the existence is to write the encyclopedia. That is why when Salvor Hardin, who's funny enough sounds almost like Harry Seldon, really similar to it, decided to feel like it's a time for them to be a bit more politicized, because he, being a mayor of the foundation, he tried to make the board understand that there were some other interests in the people living there who are not encyclopedists and not scientists, and that some of the kingdoms in the nearby planets, they would like to conquer Foundation at some point of a time. That is why he agreed to have a deal with one of the other planets to actually put the military base there, and he made a coup and took over the board of trustees. And it was also the first time when the first crisis on Foundation happened, and was the first time when the Harry Seldon's message appeared, and they all learned that Salvor's Harding move was sort of predicted by Harry Seldon, the father of Foundation. Okay, the third story, called The Mayors, it goes again about the Salvor Harding, and it's already 30 years after the coup. It's already him being quite old, and there were some more other political powers growing in the Foundation who would like to take over the power and feel like that Salvor Harding not really doing his things right. And it should have been another Harry Sultan crisis happening, you know. So there's been a lot of pressure coming from other countries, from other planets, and who were really living in the medieval kind of ages as we would see them, while Foundation was the only planet in this whole sector having the nuclear power. That is why they felt really dominant to those medieval kingdoms, even though they were bigger and seemingly having more people and probably more powerful wealth as they would see it. Foundation created religion, priests that they would send to the kingdoms who would know how to operate the nuclear power plants, which will give the energy to those planets, but they would be able to operate but not able to maintain or create anything out of it. So that is why Foundation were still keeping the control of the planets, while also showing that the Foundation became in the sacred place and no people should ever consider of ruining that. And Salvor Harding and Harry Seldon becoming sort of a god, and all the Foundations becoming the apostles or heavenly people. You know, that was a bit funny. And the whole sequence of Salvor Harding trying to play this power play and showing that he actually knows that nothing is going to happen to him, it's pretty enticing and exciting to see how he actually ruled out the whole situation. Then the force called the Traders, which goes about the trader. You know, the traders from the Foundation, they were trying to sell the goods, which were the small tools that were sold to the kingdoms for their wealth and for the resources, because the Foundation planet didn't have any resources. This is why they were also dependent on those other kingdoms. This is why it was a small story about how one trader tricked the kingdom into signing a long-term contract in order to get this. You know, yeah, it was interesting. And the last one was The Merchant Princess, which is the novel when one of the traders, Herbert Mallow, was sent like a spy in order to investigate what was happening in one of the kingdoms who were becoming too powerful, and that's how they found that the empire already fallen, and there is still some of the fights going on, and the whole empire is being torn apart in the inside wars, inside types, and further things. I think the whole Foundation novels, it's not the most eventful thing, but it's more like the novel to show the mind play. The sci-fi is only the setup here. It mainly talks about the politics, about the religion, and about the coups and traits and betrayals. And it's really focused on the politics and how they exist in our life, and how by making great political ways through, you're able to make whatever you prefer, whatever you will from the other person to take, and use your ability to talk through while not even having any much power to actually make them follow you. Which is probably quite a short summary of the 400-page small book, but hey, I mean, not all the books need to have a lot of lessons to learn. And I think Foundation definitely learning those, that the politics is something that can be practiced. And I think it's just really curious to see how Isaac Asimov saw that the politics can be practiced in the art and the book. Yeah, so there was not much of a conclusion to make. I think politics and religion is really used to power play, and if you play it smart, you're gonna go hard and beat everyone up, even though you may be small but smart. So this is my take on the Foundation. I hope you guys liked it, and if you have anything more to add, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you next time.